Hello, my beautiful viewers, and welcome to the newest video. I have been studying and doing homework non-stop, my bad, college life, but I have finals coming up this week and next week, so I should really be doing stuff. So I decided to make a new video! I was looking at the videos that I had already posted, and oh my god, I move my hands a lot, or excessively, as my boyfriend likes to put it. But speaking of boyfriends, that is going to be the main topic of this video. Boys, we love them, we hate them, ultimately, we love them. It's very easy for someone like myself or someone in my situation to feel a little extra self-conscious when it comes to, going out and talking to other guys or potential crushes or, anything like that. An unfortunate reality, I think, is that a lot of people with alopecia or other disabilities just kind of get left out of the dating pool because a lot of people are too scared to enter it. I know I was super terrified when I was losing a lot of my hair. When I first started wearing wigs, I didn't really want to talk to other guys. I didn't want them to find out because, that's something that I didn't want to be judged on, and I didn't want them to, look at that over everything else, I would think to myself, like, who wants to date a bald girl? Like, there's so many women out there who are beautiful, but, you just think, oh, I can't tell them, I'm so scared, like, what are they gonna say? And you just get so scared that you don't even put yourself out there, and you lose a lot of opportunity that way, and I don't think it needs to be that way. Generally, I find that girls are more mature than boys, just genetically and, whatever else, environmental things that go on, but that can make it scary for girls because we're supposed to be these beautiful feminine things, and if we don't have hair to offer, we might be scared that these boys are gonna say something totally ruthless. And usually in reality, even if a guy is thinking that, he's not really gonna say it out loud, but you just think of all these bad scenarios in your head that he could possibly talk about. And I remember one time I even got caught. Someone had asked one of my friends if I wore a weave, and I remember my friend calling me and telling me about it, and I was just panicking, like, why? I don't know what to say, I don't know what to tell him no, like, just because I was scared. When I first started talking to my boyfriend, I didn't tell him about my hair. I just met this new guy, I didn't know that well, and I really wanted to impress him with what I had to offer before he knew, I wanted to show him who I was before he got another idea when he looked at my hair. And I think that was a pretty good way to go. That's like a general way. I think sometimes if you were to just tell a guy right off the bat that you have alopecia, I don't think anything's wrong with that. I think honestly that's probably even a better situation, because if they stay, you know that they're really interested in you, and if they're not so interested anymore or they don't really stay in contact, maybe they weren't the one to begin with anyway, because you want someone who's really gonna love you for you, and your hair loss is not gonna matter in that. It wasn't for a couple weeks after that we were talking and going on some dates that I decided to tell him. Even then, it was super early, but I just felt so comfortable with him. I just had a feeling that it was gonna be okay. And a lot of times you can just get a certain vibe from people, and if you want to tell them now or later, it's up to you, and either option is fine. I ultimately decided to tell him just because I could kind of notice that he was starting to notice my wigs. I don't know if he really knew that they were wigs to begin with, but I think he just had his suspicions. I remember asking him one time, and he said that he was trying to look for my baby hairs and there weren't any, and that was a big sign for him. So he had noticed that. Sometimes you can kind of see eyes wandering, and you just know what people are thinking, or, can make an inference about it. So the next day I decided to tell him. I was like, you know, I just want to be real with you right now. I've been going through this thing. I have a lot of medical problems, and I have something called alopecia. And then I described to him what it was and, you know, my experience with it. Pretty much what I did in the first video, but not as intense and dense. And his response was so cute. I remember I was just so nervous the whole time of me talking. My voice was cracking trying to get the words out, and he was just so inviting right away. He looked at me and he was like, please tell me you know that the top of your head is the last thing that I'm looking at. I was like, boy, that was a good answer. At that time, I had wigs that were sewn onto my head through like the cornrows that I had, and they were sewn onto the rows. So he never saw my hair. I told him about it, but I still had the wig on and I couldn't really take it off yet. So at that moment, he had never seen me anything without a wig for quite some time. It was not until maybe a couple weeks later that I just decided to surprise him. And like I said, I'm very, very impulsive, so it was just a spur of the moment thing. I remembered that he was coming over, and it was a day between me getting the wig off and getting it put back on, so it was like a day where I didn't have to wear it all the time. And I was like, this is my chance, you know, I can just show him and see what he does. So I remember I opened the door, I had no makeup on, I was in a men's extra large t-shirt and just crazy long hair coming out of my head. And I just opened the door and he looked at me, and I didn't even know what he was gonna do, but he just had this big smile on his face, you know, and he was really proud of me in that moment and was really excited that I was willing to share that part of myself with him at that moment, you know. Gradually with him, I got more and more comfortable as time went on, and then eventually one day I just took off my wig in front of him, and that was a big deal, you know, just hanging out all bare-skinned and everything, you know, because before, you know, we would hang out, and at least he knew about it, but I was still self-conscious to the point where I didn't want to hang out with him without the wig on. And it just came to a point where I was like, you know what, my head is freaking itchy, this shit sucks, I'm ripping it off. And that's exactly what I did, and he just laughed and made fun of my lunch lady hairnet, as he says, and we just watched movies all night long. It was pretty simple. What I've learned most out of these experiences is that I built up so much stress that I didn't need. I talked about that in my last video with coming out to your friends. You know, you have this big anticipation with telling them, and it happens with telling anybody, but it doesn't need to be there. People are so welcoming, and you don't really think that they're gonna be as warm as they are. And there might be some, you know, instances where something happens and someone either talks about your hair in a negative way or just says something that you're uncomfortable with, but those people don't even matter, because you need to focus on your friends and your family and trying to get that boo thing. I think my best piece of advice would just be being yourself. You know, there's so many guys out there, and so many of them are going to fall in love with you because you are beautiful and special and have so much to offer. And if guys can't see that, then like I said before, they're not worth it, and you know that you can just toss them aside and make way for the new hotties. I think another piece of helpful advice would just be to go out in the world and act as if nothing was wrong. You know, act like you don't have something to hide. Act like you don't have a disability or a disorder. Act like you have hair. You know, there's nothing that's gonna set you back besides yourself. And if you act that way, nothing is gonna be done for you. You have to do it yourself. And a lot of times, if you're waiting for things to happen, it's not gonna happen. So you need to go out and do it. You know, go out and ask that guy. Ask for his number. Ask him out on a date. Who even cares? And sometimes guys like it when the girls make the first move, so maybe you'll be even more ahead. And just be confident in who you are, because that is the best trait. If you show that you're confident in yourself, a lot of people around you won't think that there's anything wrong. You know, if you're confident in who you are, yeah, I'm bald, I'm fucking beautiful, you know? Everyone's gonna be like, she's a cool ass chick, she's just got no hair, you know? Well, that is really all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for listening. Please don't be afraid to ask me questions in the comments, any things, any ideas you want to see. I'm actually interested in wondering if you guys would want to be able to see different things other than alopecia videos. So if you guys would want to talk about that, give me some feedback. I would love to hear it. Yeah, things like, you know, makeup videos or even advice videos, you know, a lot of different ideas. So if you guys think that that's something that you're interested in, I would, like I said, love to hear it. Don't be shy, and please like, subscribe, all that, yada yada. And thank you so much. I will see you guys later.